Okay. What we are going to do tonight? Tonight we are going to check out one of the most underrated Linux distributives. Okay. Basically, the first site we ought to visit would be Debian.org, which is kind of obvious. Okay, whenever we are going to install a new operational system, and especially one of the Linux family operational system, we would need an ISO file. Thankfully, we can download this file from the very first, the home page of Debian.org by pressing this download button. Pretty simple, isn't it? Once we press this download button, right now we find that there is a download, the actual download started. I'm kind of marveled with the way how simple they made it. It used to be whenever someone wanted to download Debian, they had to go to this address, this kind of catalog archive, where all the versions of Debian have been stored. Actually, speaking about the release, or otherwise the so-called stable or current stable version, it was stored on this, under this folder, release, which is obviously right now on February 2025 is the 12th version, the 9th revisions. Let's say if you wanted to have one of the old stable versions, we were supposed to go to the archive section. Right now we have kind of a vast collection of those archive, those old stables. Whenever we needed so-called testing, then we could go to these weekly builds. But right now our object of interest is the release. Okay, once we have it downloaded, we have in our downloads folder the following ISO file of size 662.7 megabyte. Okay, if we would try to break down the name of the file, it actually gives a lot of information to us kind of right away. First of all, the extension, which is ISO, which is kind of a normal image file, something that would remind us to the CD files, DVD files, kind of the entire content stored in the single so-called image file. Let's say once we have that image file, we could burn it out, we could burn it on the compact disc and receive the actual installation CD or DVD. The net inst mention right here stands for the net installation or internet installation that provides the basic installation of the corresponding operational system, which is normally a CLI or otherwise command line interface version of the operational system. Net installation built for the AMD 64 architecture, which is basically any computer available on the market. Okay, right now we are dealing with Debian, the 12th version, the 9th revision of the 12th version. Maybe lots of people might kind of remember that the Debian releases actually could be referred by their corresponding names. Somehow there was a place where it was mentioned. Here it is. Latest stable Debian release, bookworm. Currently version 12.9. Anyway, here is the list of all the options available to install it, but actually we have it already right here. And we are going to use one of the most widely used tools for virtualization called Parallels Desktop. In order for us to create a new Debian installation, we are going to create a new virtual machine. Once we launch this file new, right now we have this kind of nice menu that provides to us lots of options. Actually, right now we can download Windows 11. Let's say if I select this Get Windows 11 and press Continue, then it will launch the download of the Windows 11. Or otherwise we could download the latest Ubuntu, the latest Fedora, the latest CentOS, the latest Debian, but we are going to use kind of the universal way, kind of the way of handling of any operational system. That is to install an operational system, whether it would be Windows or any other system, from a DVD or image file. We can remember that actual image file is the file that we have right now here, actual this ISO file. Okay. We selected this and pressing continue, and right now actually Parallels Desktop is clever enough to recognize that right now we have downloaded one of the ISO files right here in our downloads folder. Okay, selecting, checking, pressing continue, setting the name, which could be any name, maybe customizing the amount of the memory, maybe let's say it would be worth to adjust the amount of the RAM and the number of the cores processor used actually. Okay, CPU 4, memory 4, and disk space is 64 gigabyte. Continue, start in Debian. Basically, the installation user experience for Debian is about the same that it would be for installation at a normal computer. Right now you should have a nice... Okay, let's try a graphical install. It looks nicer. Basically, whenever you are going to install Debian, at least Debian, speaking about Debian, you can use all the default options offered to you at all the stages of the installation. What does it mean? I mean, being we are handling a virtual machine, which is actually, it does not involve any changes on the actual storage we have right here in macOS. This way we can use any default options. Okay, right now we are choosing the language. Okay, we are not going to make any adjustment, just English. Pressing continue. Selecting location. Okay, let's try Europe. Let's say. Actually, we can choose any country, but we are going to choose one of Europe, kind of that right here in this list, Ireland. Configuring keyboard. Okay, let's be Irish. Okay, basically all the components essential for installation are being downloaded. Actually, not downloaded, but retrieved from the installation image from this very ISO file. Right now we are still dealing the files right here on the installation file. Installation image. What does it do next? Getting up the link, the network, after which we would have the network up and going. Okay, we are assigning a name of this computer, actually this virtual computer. Doesn't matter, it could be any name. Okay, this one we are not touching it. Okay, now we have, right now we're the first important step. We should set up a root password and a normal user name and a normal user password. Okay, root password once, root password twice. Full name for a new user. Let's say all. It's going to be all. Username as all. The shorter is the better. Setting the password. Better to remember both of them. The password for the root and for the normal user. And right now it starts dealing with the internet. We are getting our time from the time server. Going on. Here is the important step of the disk partitioning. We are not going to handle it. too much, just using the default options, that is just pressing continue, 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 and everything is going to be stored in one single partition. We are not going to go into the tables. Maybe later on we will cover it a bit, kind of. Okay, just not touching it. Okay, finish partitioning and write changes, and it still kind of asks would this configuration would be fine, and I should select this yes as my kind of confirmation that it's okay for me to write the changes to the disk. Okay, yes, and pressing continue. Okay, going on. And that's where the actual system is being installed right now. Validating, installing. Takes a bit, not too long, but there are lots of configuration being done under the hood. Actually, we are unaware about this, but nevertheless. Okay, right now we have the Linux image being extracted, and once this step of Linux image extracting, configuring, and the boot manager also extracted and installed, basically our system is installed. Linux image is installed right now. Okay, and that's where it went downloading some extra packages from the internet and installing it. Okay, the next step is going to be scanning the package sources, which is in Debian we have this beautiful thing called the package manager. Basically an application store, a place store, as to say, for all the applications. Yeah, that's true. We had the application store ready and available since maybe 90s. Anyway, long before we got it in Android and Apple. Anyway, we can install those packages either from a set of the optical disks, like, for example, okay, I'm not going to mention, we might go and check it kind of some other time. But basically, what right now we have before our eyes is just one single optical drive, which is Debian GNU 12.9 bookworm blah 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 net inst blah 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 ISO file. That's what we have right now as the only media. But the rest of the packages will be retrieved right from the internet. And actually, what does it say? That you now have the option of scanning additional media for use by the package manager. We could do that by using a set of the normal CDs or DVDs, and actually the number of those CDs and DVDs is pretty large. As far as I can remember, the number of CDs reached maybe 20 back into 2005 or so, and right now maybe they have that many DVDs. I mean, one has to have 9 or 10 normal DVDs for the purpose of having all the packages stored on those DVDs, which would be maybe up to 50 gigabyte or maybe even more. But since we don't have any installation, any other installation media, we don't have any extra installation media, we are checking no on this radio button and pressing continue. And right now we are going to scan the actual mirror on the internet where all the packages are stored. We are going to, okay, once we choose island, we are going to choose, where is island? Okay, let it be Iceland. Okay, we can do this one, Iceland. Let's say this one. Okay, we are going to scan the mirror. We better to remember that right now we have only the command line interface operational system installed. But we, of course, we would like to have the normal kind of graphical environment for us to be able to use both the graphical applications and the command line applications. Okay, that's where the descriptions, or actually the databases of the packages are being downloaded. Not the packages, but just the descriptions of where and which is stored. Once this step is completed, we can go on to install any extra packages. And there is actually a tool named, hold on, what is the name of it? Task cell is the name of that tool. It takes a bit longer than I expected. Anyway, it's funny that it goes again to extract and configure the kernel, the Linux image. As we can see, the version of the Linux image is a bit outdated, 6.4, whereas right now we have, I believe, 6.13, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 6.13. Actually, we can go and check it a bit later. It's a pretty interesting subject. Okay, it went on installing some other things. Actually, meanwhile, we can check some other. Right now I'm going to check the GitHub for Linux. Actually, that's where all the development of the Linux kernel being done. Okay, here comes the next step. It offers to configure the popularity contest package. Okay, let's choose no and press continue. It doesn't matter. The next step would be handling task cell package, which is the step where it offers us to install a desktop environment. There is quite a variety of the desktop environments available, and actually we can check all of them That is for the purpose of having all of those installed, but we will go for the default setup of the Debian desktop environment, which would be a GNOME-based desktop environment. Okay, so we're going to install Debian desktop environment, GNOME, and standard system utilities, making sure these three are selected and pressing continue. And that's where actually quite a big chunk of the packages going to be downloaded and installed. Actually, we can see that there are 1400 packages to be downloaded and installed. But thankfully the process is going on more or less rapidly, more or less quickly. We can switch to the other GitHub Torvalds Linux. That's where the actual development of the Linux kernel going on. Maybe if I would have a more powerful computer, things would be going on a bit more rapidly. But anyway, we don't have any other option but to hold on and wait. Thankfully, oh, it's just 40 minutes left, 40 seconds left. Sorry. Okay, it finished downloading. And right now unpacking and installing all the packages is going on. We can see there are some fonts are being extracted. some X11 libraries, Python 3.11, which is a bit outdated, but anyway. Yeah, there are lots of packages. Okay. It takes a while, but actually maybe. Meanwhile, we can check the actual number. Let's say the actual amount of the installation. Media. Let's say, for example, you can check it from the archive. Okay, right now we have the 12th version of Debian, and we had the 11th, the 10th version, 9, 8, back to the Debian 3, and each of them had a name. Right now we have Bookworm at the most recent. And let's say, speaking about the, let's see actually whether I can find the actual DVD images, let's say for the AMD64. Obviously, AMD64 is our main. Okay, now we have just one of them right here. That does not mean that Bookworm, I mean Debian version 12.8 provide just enough packages to fit on one DVD. No, it's just for the purpose of keeping, for the purpose of having stored all the ISO files on this server. They kind of stripped down. Let's say I remember seeing those let's say BD files, which would be, what is the proper name? BD Blu-ray or something like this. And the storage of those Blu-ray, what was the BD optical disk, BD optical drive. It's funny how I can't remember. DVD, okay, DVD, blue. Check. Right now we have so-called JIGDO files, which they are not the actual BD files. Let me check. Blu-ray disk, DVD disk. It's not that I can't remember the capacity of the DVD, but I mean this other BD drive should be somewhere on the same page where all the optical disks information stored. Yeah, I remember the DVD is basically 4.7 gigabyte, and it could be this and this and this, but the next one on the line would be something like 25 gigabyte or something. It's funny that I can't remember. Blu-ray disc, perhaps that's what it is. Blu-ray disc. And the capacity of a Blu-ray disc was something like 25, yeah, 25 gigabyte. So, okay, it says it could be 25 or single layer and 5066 for a dual layer, and what we have right now for Debian 12.8. Basically those JIGDO and template files are the kind of bootstrap information files, allowing us to build the actual BD file, Blu-ray file, of the corresponding size. And what I'm assuming, and I'm good to assume it, that basically, I mean, provided that we have enough storage, a storage large enough, we could bootstrap these 5 Blu-ray discs 5 Blu-ray disc images of 25 gigabyte size each. Here it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And at least 4 of them would be a full capacity Blu-ray discs, which would sum in 100 gigabyte. 25 times 4 is going to be 100 gigabyte plus whatever extra on the 5th Blu-ray disc. That's how much software is available right now for Debian 12. Over 100 gigabyte. Let's check what's going on here on the parallel desktop. I suppose that LibreOffice is being installed right now. Okay, we can switch back. So basically, that's the amount of the software we have for Debian in packages form. I mean, compressed, basically. Over 100 gigabyte. Pretty impressive, isn't it? Yeah, SID. This is the education version of the BD. DVD. There is also Jigdo. Right now we have Jigdo BD, which would be a bootstrap files to make a Blu-ray disc, and we have a Jigdo DL BD, which I assume would be dual layer Blu-ray disc, which would be, each of them would be 50 gigabyte, and the total amount is going to be, anyway, still, let's say this one is 50 gigabyte plus 50 plus whatever, still over 100 gigabyte. Even if we go and check the number of those disks for one of the earlier versions of Debian, let's say the 11th version. Actually, right now we consider the 12th version, called Bookworm, named Bookworm, to be the current stable version, the current release 12.8. But we can check the number of those disks for the 11th version, which is going to be second. 1111 AMD 64 Chicto BD. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 Jigdo and template files to bootstrap, for bootstrapping the blue disk installation images for Debian 11, which would make up to 100 gigabyte the packages. Still being installed, okay. Fine. Yeah, it's pretty impressive. That's the thing that actually got me kind of attracted to Debian almost maybe 20 years ago or whenever. I wonder what about the weekly builds? What is the selection? Up to 5 BD. I mean, not up to 5, but 5 BD files, and 3 dual layer BD files. Actually, we can build, it provides the, oh, quite interesting thing. It provides also the bootstrap Jigdo files for the normal DVDs. Let's say, assuming that, okay, it provides 25 Jigdo and template files for the normal DVDs of the current Debian testing, which would make how many? Okay, we assume that out of 25 DVDs, 24 DVD images would be filled to its capacity. So we can go and multiply easily 24 by 4.7, which would make 112.8 gigabyte. And we can still add how much can we add? Let's say 2 gigabyte. So it's going to be basically 113 gigabyte on those 24 DVD disks, plus 2 gigabyte, and that's going to be basically 115 gigabyte for the testing Debian for the current weekly build as for the January 2025. Okay, right now we have those cups, printer server installed, and LibreOffice is already installed. Then some extra application provided with GNOME, GNOME Contacts, GNOME Music, GNOME whatever. Basically it's similar to the whatever applications installed to Android, let's say. Once you have an Android installation on your phone, it comes with all the handy tools like the contacts, the music, whatever, manager, player, the email client, and so on and so forth. GNOME tweaks, for example, which is kind of self-explainable. Okay, GDM3. I don't know whether you noticed this very thing. GDM3 is the so-called login manager, which is the first graphical user interface window to meet us after the reboot. Okay, it's about to install grub bootloader, which is the, of course it's acronym. It's kind of grand unified bootloader. That's how it should be interpreted, or something like this. Anyway, it offers to install it to our primary drive, and okay, our task is just to say yes and press continue. And we are going to install it on this very drive, which is the only drive that this virtual machine has. And of course we remember that we are dealing with the virtual machine that does not touch the main hard drive of our computer in any way. I mean, this one is not involved. Okay, there is some other stuff. Okay, the installation is about to be finished. Installing into microcode. Anyway, this installation does not do anything to the primary Mac OS installed on this computer. Ta-da! Installation is complete. So we can go on to reboot it. Cleaning up, rebooting. Okay, what we have right now before our eyes is this nice picture of this GNU Grub, which is an open source bootloader. Okay, once this Debian GNU Linux is selected, we press return, enter. And the operational system goes on to boot up using Linux kernel of 6.1 version. Okay, lots of information. We can cover it a bit later on. Actually, it's pretty important. But we are not going to cover that right now. Okay. Normally, this boot up process goes much quicker than it is right now on a real machine, or let's say on a virtual machine that has a bit more operational memory. Okay, right now what we have right now before our eyes is this GDM, which is the GNOME Display Manager. GDM, that's what it stands for. GDM, GNOME Display Manager. Right now we have this L as the username, and we can click on it. And once I have it clicked, I have again this L as the name of the user and the text field for me to enter the password and press enter. Okay, the graphical environment is about to load up, and kind of voila, that's what we have right now. Not too bad. And not too responsive either. It's just a matter of the lack of RAM. Right now this machine has 8 GB total, and I can assign just up to 50% of the memory of the host machine. Yeah, that's what it says. Memory is 4 GB. We have a swap. The cache. That's how much CPU is in use. And right now, once we have this GNOME loaded, the memory consumption is 1.5 GB. This window also the initial configuration of GNOME. It offers for you to select whatever keyboard is going to be the primary one, but we are not going to change anything. Just press next. Just checking this one about the location services. Yeah, that's what it is. In Linux they implemented those location services, but you can turn those off and sleep tight. We can, but we are not it's not mandatory to connect any of your online accounts to this current Google installation, to this current GNOME installation. So skip, all done, start using Debian. Okay, that's what we have right now. Activities. Okay, what we have right now. Contacts, weather, clocks, maps, which all of them are Google applications. Calendar, document scanner, settings, of course, settings. The GNOME settings, yeah, that's what it is. That's what they are. It takes a while. Lots of things. Not too responsive. About. Okay, that's what we have. Device name, Deb 12.9, Deb 12.9. Hardware model, obviously, parallel software, virtualization, amount of memory, the processor, graphics, disk capacity, OS name, OS type. GNOME version is 43.9, which is pretty outdated as well. Actually, speaking about the software being outdated, that's one of the kind of drawbacks that Debian is being accused for. but that basically applies for the stable version. Lots of people choose to use a testing, so-called testing version of Debian, or even so-called unstable version of Debian. Despite to a pretty scary name, an unstable version of Debian behaves still pretty nice and usable. Let's try to convert our system to unstable version. Okay, the basics of the package management in Debian are pretty simple. First of all, we are going to use the command line interface. So we are going to launch a terminal session, this black box thing. Okay, right now what we have is the terminal session for all user on Deb 12.9 machine. But the normal user is not allowed to install or remove any applications. At least he has no ability to handle the packages installation and removal system-wide, that is for all the system. In order to do that package removal or package installation, one should be a root user. Switching from a normal user to a root user is being done by the following command: su, su, which is pretty simple. I'm thinking to make it those letters look larger. Okay, su, password. I typed the password and pressed enter. And right now the situation is changed. We have root on Debian 12.9. Okay, basically there is, the package management from the command line interface is being done by this command apt. I'm not going to go too deep into this one and whatever else. I'm not going to go too deep. I'm just going to use apt, and let's say, first of all, I would like to update the package lists. I want to make sure that the package list on my computer is a match to the package list on the remote server. What we have right now. Apt update, what does it say? It's checking this. It's checking the package lists on my computer against the package list stored here, here, and obviously here, which is these two are the package archives, kind of the normal package archives, and this one is the security updates, which is kind of obvious from the name. The bookworm is the name of the package. I hope we still remember it. The bookworm is the alias, the name for the Debian 12. That's what we have. And it says to me all packages up to date. Let's say if I would have a situation that some packages I could update, then I would have to issue this command. I can still do it, but I can launch this command, but there are no packages for upgrading. No upgrades, no new installed, not upgraded. Okay, but what I would like to do? I still would like to install some software. Let's say, first of all, I would like to install MC. Yeah, that's normally what it does. Normally, whenever I want to install something, but I will keep from install it. I would like to just check the package information. Opt, search, and MC. What does it say? Oh, there are lots of those. MC. Midnight Commander. MC stands for Midnight Commander, a powerful file manager. Basically, Midnight Commander is a file manager that's pretty similar to the old Norton Commander, Volkov Commander, and so on. So we are going to install this MC Midnight Commander. Wait, that's not what I meant. Opt install MC. Yes. Connecting to FTP. Downloading, fetched, unpacking, setting up, processing triggers. Okay. And right now we can launch it, but we are not going to launch it as a power user, as a root. We are going to launch it as a normal user. So we're going to switch back from root deb 12.9 to all deb 12.9. In order to do it, we are going to launch exit. And here we are back to our normal user, where we can feel safe. Okay, launching MC. And right now what we have is a very nice, very familiar environment. Okay, we can press this button to quit, or let's launch it again, MC. Or alternatively, we can press escaped 0. I just pressed escape 0, and MC is killed. Okay. How can we upgrade our Debian stable installation to Debian SID installation? Okay, first of all, I'm going to do some package management tasks, I have to switch to the power user, to the root, and from here I'm going to launch the midnight command. Okay, right now we have in this home all directory, which all stands for the name of the user. Home stands for the directory where all kind of resides, whatever thing that have to do to the all and his kind of operations, whatever he is doing as a normal user, as the L, are stored right here in home. But we can go up, and right now we are in so-called root directory, the first level directory, which is denoted by this slash. We are not going to cover all the content of all those directories, but what right now we are going to deal is the etc. directory, and that's where actually the package manager configuration files are stored. They are stored in etc. opt in a file or several files named sources.list. Yeah, that's where they are located. Okay, we are going to check it up. We're going to press F4, edit. Okay, the next step, it asks me to select the text editor, and we are going to use the, okay, instead of Nano, we are going to use the MC edit, which is the kind of internal editor for the Midnight Commander. Right now, what we have right now before our eyes is a set of entries, a set of lines, where each of them stands for a archive of the Debian packages. And here's how the opt, I mean this advanced package tool, opt, Debian opt, that's how it handles those lines. It's very good that right now we have this colored kind of display. Okay, deb and debcrc, as we may assume, stand for the binary packages, and the source code kind of archives. Obviously, right now, I mean, whenever we go to install something to Debian, we are handling the binary packages, not the source code. There is no compilation being done on the package installation stage, unless we really want to have it compiled and everything. So right now we don't need this deb.crc. We are going to, what we are going to do, we are going to comment it out. Okay, and we are going to use, it's funny, hold on a second, the Irish keyboard make a tricks to me. The Irish keyboard makes a trick to me. I should have chosen an US keyboard. Just a second. Oh, actually, it's okay. We can do it a bit later. Keyboard. No, we are still going to do it right now. English, US. English, US. Okay. And this one, Irish, I don't need. Okay. Okay. So we are going to comment out, which is kind of deactivate all those entries that start from deb src. Okay, deb, the actual address, and this word is very important. Once we have bookworm word right here, it means that opt, the package manager, the Debian package manager opt, is going to download the packages for bookworm, compiled and prepared for the current Debian. In order for us to have the packages compiled and prepared for the unstable version, we should replace this bookworm with the word unstable, or otherwise with the word SID. Let's do it. These two other words stands for the sections of the repository, which would be kind of main is a big pool of packages of all kinds, but the packages that are kind of free to distribute in all the countries in the world. But the section non-free firmware kind of is the section where all the packages and firmware and everything that maybe it's not that free as the packages stored in the main section. And depending on the nation, different legislation rules could be applied to the software stored in this non-free firmware section. But basically, we are not going to update these words to anything. We are just going to replace those bookworm to unstable. Bookworm, unstable, unstable. And we are going to save everything. It's going to be saved. We pressed F2 or this button save, and here it comes with the dialog save. Would you confirm save file? Again, as a reminder, we are about to update the source list file, source.list file, located in apt directory in etc. directory. Okay, we are pressing save, we are pressing escape, we are pressing escape 0 again, and right now is where we can launch the apt update, which is a command for the Debian package manager, advanced package tool manager, to update all the package lists. Okay. 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 What does it say? There are lots. There are lots of those entries for the non-free firmware. For the unstable, there are lots of kind of append section, append kind of milestones, but we face some errors. It looks like security, the unstable security does not make any sense. Okay, let's update it back again. Midnight Commander, etc. apt sources list F4, which is edit, and we are going to comment this one out, pressing save, which is F2, confirming save, pressing escape, pressing escape 0, and launching apt update. Let's check. Unstable updates has been unstable updates does not make any sense as well. F4 edit. Okay. Okay, comment it out. F2 save. Escape. Escape 0. Let's try apt update once more. check and stable in the release. Waiting. Okay, so what we have right now, we still have the bookworm, Debian bookworm 12.9 version installed, but the packages lists are updated against to the unstable version. I mean, it's not even the weekly builds, which would be the testing. But right now we are going to switch completely to SID, unstable. And it says to us that once we had the packages lists updated, done, it says to us that we can update over 1300 packages. Actually, we can check everything. We can kind of check whatever we can update. What does it say? What does it say? Let's say GNOME. Let's say what we are kind of interested. GNOME session. I mean, being GNOME is something that we are dealing kind of right away in our graphical environment. GNOME session could be upgraded to version 47.0 from 43.0, which is kind of when we have settings right here. Hold on a second. Takes a bit. GNOME session, the current version of the GNOME session is version 43. What does it say in the settings? Hold on, waiting. 43.9, that's what it says right here. But anyway, 43. Yeah, there are kind of lots of things to update. For example, the very apt is upgradable to version 2.9 from 2.6.1. And I read that there are lots of new things introduced lately in this very version of 2.9. Also, we can, let's say, we had LibreOffice installed, which is kind of also interesting. LibreOffice, yeah. LibreOffice is upgradable from, let's say, LibreOffice base core is upgradable from 7.4.7 to 24. Well, it's not like I believe that actually I was a bit kind of lost about the versioning of the LibreOffice that has been going through the years. But I mean, this difference in versions is so big, this gap actually is so large, that I believe they had a kind of a leap. I mean, from version 7 they might have leaped to version 21 or something, and then went on going to add one by one, 21, 22, 23. Anyway, it's upgradable from 7.4 to 24. And actually we can launch it right now and see what, I hope you still remember, update is for the packages update, but dist upgrade for the entire operational system upgrade, including all the dependencies. That's what it is. Yeah, that's what it says. What does it say? Okay, dist upgrade, reading package list success, building dependency tree success, reading state information success, calculate and grade success. It makes sure that kind of everything is going along fine so far. But anyway, it says that the following packages installed automatically and no longer required, and we can remove it using opt auto remove. Okay, we are not handling this right now. These packages are going to be removed. These packages are going to be installed. And these packages are going to be upgraded. I mean, these packages, we did not have them before, looks like, and they're going to be right there after the process is completed. But these packages are right now here installed, and they will be just upgraded to a newer version. In order to have all this done, we need to download over 1 gigabyte of archives, and after all this is completed, we have over 900 megabyte of additional disk space kind of consumed. And the total is going to be 1300 packages upgraded, about 400 newly installed, 144 removed, and this one, that's fine. But anyway, okay, once we type yes and press enter, the process of the conversion of the current stable Debian installation to the Debian unstable started. Okay, crossing our fingers. The reason I am crossing my fingers, sometimes this upgrade might not go as smoothly as we hope for. But anyway, Okay, all the information coming before our eyes is pretty self-explanatory. We are getting those packages from this very address, from the unstable as the mark for the distributive, Debian unstable, from main section, a package compiled, built, prepared for AMD64, the name of each corresponding package, again the architecture AMD64, the version of the package, the size, for example, GNOME session, GNOME session all 47.0, kind of self-explainable. Of Firefox ACR, the old version of Firefox for some reason, but anyway. Transmission. Okay, lots of games. Kind of a funny thing. For some reason, the default GNOME installation has lots of games, which is a bit kind of silly, unusable. I don't think that too many people actually use those games, and especially those games are a bit kind of lame. I mean, it's not like those games are fancy. It's kind of basically like solitaire, like chess, 5 or more, 4 in a row, or these kind of, I mean, toddler kind of like toddler or oriented games. I don't know why. What is the reason they have those games in the default installation shipped? Anyway, along to those funny game packages, we have lots of the GNOME essentials and Linux image, a recent package. Remember, we had Linux image of version 6.1, and after having all this stuff installed, after having our installation upgraded from Debian stable to Debian unstable, we will have Linux image 6 upgraded to version 6.12, which is kind of a big leap, and it's not like a leap caused by the versioning whatever conventions, I mean, that someone might have introduced, but actually they had this path covered step by step, 6.1, 6.2, and on till 6.11, 6.12, and right now they are working on 6.13. I believe so. I closed this one already. No, not exactly. Stable version 6.13.1 is the version that is considered to be the latest. It's kind of a pretty interesting area that we should handle, but anyway. It's not kind of our purpose for this night session. Okay, what does it say? 1692, about 1700 packages are 1700 packages have been downloaded, and it says that about 1100 megabytes have been fetched in 4.5 minutes time with at the average speed 4 megabyte per second. Not bad, not bad. Okay, it goes on to read the change logs. I mean, before it goes on to extract all those packages, all those binary packages. I still remember we are dealing with the binary packages. We are not going to compile anything from the source files. Again, we can check those apt configuration file. We can check that source.list file that apt handles while dealing the packages. We can open a new tab of the terminal. I pressed this kind of cross, this kind of plus, and right now I have a new tab right here. I still have this one open, and there is some process going on, the process that we started kind of a while ago. And there is an invitation to a new command line. Again, I'm going to do a bit of zoom in, and I can launch Midnight Commander. I still can check this source.list file without updating it. Okay, etc. apt source list. We can press view, which is kind of viewing. Oh, it's a bit, it's a drag. The colored output is gone. Let's try to press F4. It asks again MC edit. Okay, my pick is again MC edit. Okay, right now I have some colors, but let's say in case I make any updates to this file as a normal user, as all user, it won't allow me, it will not allow me to save this file, being I just opened it as a normal user. I still kind of, it allowed me to open this file for editing, but I should be aware that it will not allow me to save this file, to do any saving on this file should I introduce any updates in this file. Okay, okay. Right now it says, apt list changes in use. Lots of things, lots of changes. I mean, I'm back in this other tab where I launched apt-dist upgrade, which is a complete upgrade of the entire operational system from bookworm to SID, which is from the current Debian stable to the Debian unstable. It downloaded all those packages, it has read all the change logs, and before it goes further to do the actual upgrade, which is the conversion from bookworm to SID, from Debian stable to Debian unstable, it displays to me all the changes, and at least I should scroll it. I'm supposed to scroll it down and check all the changes. For example, for the apt, these are the changes. Okay, actually it's pretty interesting. It's worth reading. We might actually maybe during one of the next sessions we might check this change log one by one. There are lots of interesting things mentioned, but we are not going to do that right now. Okay, right now I scroll to the very bottom. Actually, right now I'm scrolling back up. I wonder what does it say about an application like LibreOffice. No, there is no mention about LibreOffice. It's all about those base packages. I mean, basically core packages. But still, even these, it's pretty interesting. Okay, right now I'm scrolling. I scrolled down to the very bottom, and it says that for me to, if I want to quit, if I want to kind of close this changelog, I should press Q, press Q button. Okay, I pressed Q button. What does it say? Extracting templates from packages. Yeah, there are some templates. And again, I assume it will take maybe quite a bit. Okay, what does it say? Okay. Unpacking, setting up, unpacking, setting up, okay. It's going to be a funny story. Okay. Okay, we'll keep from saying anything. Okay, 1% progress right now is what we have. Okay, it's still going on, it's good. Okay, it's good. Okay. Here we can check it out. Speaking about the Midnight Commander, there are not too many changes in the Midnight Commander. We had it as 4.8.29 this current installation, and the new installation is 4.8.33, kind of the last digit, kind of 4 units. The gap is just 4 units at the last digit, kind of second minor digit, third minor digit as to say. Right now we have troubles. It looks like we have troubles. We might have troubles, so let's see how it goes. It might still end up fine, but let's wait. Let's wait a bit. Okay, LibreOffice is coming. It's coming fine. Hopefully. Okay. Yeah, normally on modern software, this process goes along much quicker. But right here we don't have any other option. Okay. Okay. it's doing some house cleaning about the kernel. Okay, setting the newest kernel in the init RAID. sometimes it's asking those questions, and normally, in case you don't know any answer, it would be wise to just press enter, which is to agree with the default option offered. Okay, not too far from the end. Right now, the grub is checking what is the situation with the installed operational systems and the partitions. Right now we have these two versions of the kernel installed, and most probably both of them are going to be available in grub. That is, we will have an opportunity to boot up either from this newest one or from this originally installed one kernel. And actually this one is going to be right there also. We can remove it later on. Let's say remove all of them. I mean all the outdated we can remove using opt remove. Anyway, the main thing right now is to make sure that the conversion process is a success. Let's see. We don't know yet. Okay. Okay, the installation is completed, but the moment of truth is not there yet. Okay, this one we can just close up, and this one we can close up as well. Right now we are just restarting the virtual machine, and we will see what comes next. Okay. 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 Okay, the newest kernel. Okay. Those warnings are a bit look funny, but okay. 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 Remember, we don't have too much RAM, so basically the system is not that responsive as it would have been on a normal hardware. Okay, starting GDM service, which is the GNOME Display Manager. This GDM that I mentioned about. Voila. GDM window is right here. The password okay. As funny as it may seem, the conversion of Debian Bookworm to Debian Unstable, Debian SID, has been a success, and we are happy for it. And we are happy because of it. Mm. Not too responsive. I'm trying. Okay, operation system, Debian GNU Linux, Trixie or SID. Trixie is going to be the next release name, which is right now we have Bookworm as the release name, but the next version of Debian, which is version 13, is going to be named as Trixie. And right now there is a big intersection between Trixie, the testing otherwise. In other words, Trixie is testing, and SID. Okay, system details. GNOME version 47, which is expected. Kernel 6.12. Well, wonderful. Wonderful. That's what I expected. Okay, okay. Maybe next session we can check a bit of the actual software, or maybe we'll do something else. Okay, thank you for joining me, to whoever attended and stayed this long. Hope to see you again sometime. You're welcome to join. Okay, power off, power off. Okay, and right now I have this entry in the control center of parallel desktop. There are some options that I can do. First of all, I can compress a bit of the disk space for this very virtual machine, which is kind of some house cleaning for this virtual machine. And also, apart from that, I can archive it, which is compress it. For example, right now, I can check it, the size of this virtual machine, and I can see that the size of it is 8 gigabyte, 8 and something gigabyte. But what I can do, I mean, I can archive it, and then it's going to be something kind of much smaller, not 8, but maybe 4 or even 3 gigabyte in the compressed form. I can compress it and I can extract it back. But, well, anyway, I'm not going to do anything with it. We will come back to this virtual machine a bit later on. If you have any questions, you're welcome to put it on the section of the comments, and I will try to check those comments and answer to the best of my knowledge. Okay, thank you so much. Good night. Goodbye.